for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wynn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi guys, and welcome to the You See Me podcast. To God be the glory. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for all of my supporters that have stuck with me in light of my recent absence. So I am going to just jump right in. I am your host, Mrs. Tina Wynn Bridges, and I just want to address my recent absence and some of the things that led up to that. I know you guys have been on the edge of your seats wondering what happened, where is she, and what is going on. So the reason this show is live today is because normally I will go over the things that I want to talk to. Today I needed to just pour my heart out to my audience. And no, I was not on vacation. I was not on a vacation. I was not in depression or in seclusion. I was away on a very personal stay. And during that personal stay, I had some run-ins with the law. I did, guys. You know, sometimes in life, we try to outrun ourselves, or we do so much that we don't realize that one day this little person called karma, well, big person called karma, she doesn't escape anyone. And that's what happened. One day I was at work, I was taking care of patients. Next minute I'm on Facebook celebrating my I Love Her bestseller list. Next moment, I am being apprehended and thrown into custody. And I was thrown into custody, guys, for a short duration for some things that Quita did in her past that I thought I could escape. And we can't escape who we are, guys, but it became a ripple effect in my life, guys. It went from being in custody, being released from custody, but upon my release, my jobs went with it, my vehicle went with it, and my housing became very unstable. And in light of that instability came a lot of unpleasant thoughts and a lot of unpleasant feelings along with it. And I could have done one of two things, guys. I could have sat in on feelings and allowed myself to soak. And initially, that's what I did. I went through every stage of grief imaginable, because a lot of times we don't realize as people that certain behaviors and characteristics that we have incorporated during the duration of our life has become a part of us. And Quita was that part of me that, although spiritually I let her go, my flesh was still holding on to her. And the moment the handcuffs were slapped on me and that door closed on that cell, reality set in that I no longer was that person. My flesh no longer desired to be that person. Spiritually and mentally and emotionally, I am now Tina Wynn Bridges. I don't want any other associations with Quita. I don't want to be known as Quita. I no longer want her to reside in me. And it took me through the stages of grief, guys. And as I grieved, my soul grew closer to God because it was something that I negated to do for so long. I thought that if I shared and talked about her, it would better help me to rid myself of her. But it did the exact opposite, guys. Sometimes when we sit and we spend too much time reflecting on our past and on past behaviors, it leads us right back into those same old behaviors. Because if you guys remember from my earlier episodes, what you feed grows. And the fact that I was coming on week after week reflecting upon Quita's lifestyle and the things Quita did, it put a longing and a missing for that lifestyle to be a part of me. And I've learned a few things about myself in that process, guys. I learned that I do not have to carry her with me. My past is always going to be my past. And I am no longer in a position to allow people to use that against me. What I have learned in that absence and in that process is when people want to walk out your life, let them. And I had an issue with that because a lot of times my heart is bigger than what happens in the flesh. And even though you may hurt me and say cruel things to me in the flesh, my heart and my spirit still wants to love you. It still wants to pray for you. It still wants to deal with you. And in this process, I've learned, Tina, you can do all the above, but you have to do it putting you first and separating yourself from the toxicity of it all. You know, guys, in this time that I have been coming before you guys, from the first show to the first book to all of it, I have lost, no, correction, a lot of people have lost me. And I say that because I can only vouch for my part in the relationship that was played. And it hurt me. I grieved over a lot of people in these last few weeks because what my what my flesh couldn't understand, my spirit understood it right off rip. My flesh couldn't understand, how do we have so much time invested? How is it that you sit in my face? I'm your sis, I'm your bestie, I'm all the above, any label, because you know we live in a society of titles and labels today. And I'm all these things in your face, but in your absence, I'm something totally different. Tina is headed in a direction where I need loyal, genuine, honest people, people who have my back, whether I'm there, whether I'm not there. The same things you say in my face, I need for you to say when I'm not there as well. And if that switches, then let's just switch it all the way off. Let's not halfway this thing, and let's just be done with each other. But in being done with people, you don't have to hate them. You can still love them. You can still wish them well. So as I was grieving these people and grieving the loss of Quita and grieving, because Quita was a lifestyle, guys, if you guys didn't know that. I was more addicted to the behaviors and the things that Quita was doing than I was addicted to the things that I was actually doing. Somewhere in my spirit and somewhere in my soul is satisfied a part of me that I no longer wanted to satisfy. So I had to completely go before God in my nakedness and lay that over to him. And along with me laying myself over to him, because I'm convicted, guys, for the things that I say and do. I'm not exempt from this lifestyle. And I want to just be clear, because a lot of people hear me talk about God and they hear me talk about my spirit. They don't hear me talk about religion. I am not a religious person. I have never proclaimed to be religious. I do not proclaim any particular religion. I claim Christ and I claim God. And if that's not good enough for you, then Tina is not the person for you. What you see before you is what you're going to get. You're going to see me cuss. You're going to see me act a fool sometimes. You're going to see me do all the above, but it does not change the purity of what's in my heart. And that's where a lot of people misunderstand me because they expect, oh my gosh, she's on her show and she's talking about God, but I just seen her over here and now she's cussing and she's doing this. I am who I am and you be who you're going to be. You cannot sit and judge me all in the same breath that you're judging me, where you're being judgmental, and no one is my judge but God. In that absence, guys, I also learned that I was bringing new life into this world, and it brought me through a whole second stage of grief because for those that know, I went through a lot of complications with my daughter, from her father being absent in her life to me being absent during certain periods of her life. And I began to grieve and I began to allow myself to start to feel unworthy. But I want to tell you guys today the power of prayer is amazing and mind blowing. When you wholeheartedly seek first the kingdom of God and put God in front of you, anything and everything else in your life begins to change. Things in me have changed, guys. I am no longer the same. I am no longer after the same things. I no longer want the same things. I no longer want the same people in my life. And it's no disrespect to anyone. I have outgrown myself, so I have outgrown a lot of people along with that. And my issue was I was trying to bring some of these people with me, my compassion for these people and my love, or what I thought was love for these people. I didn't want to leave them behind. I didn't want to fully disconnect from them. And it put me in a position of being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I kept finding myself hitting a brick wall, going in circles, trying to figure out a way to serve Christ and to allow my flesh to still entertain and feed these people. And I was living a double life. And I was seriously convicted for living that double life. We cannot live a double life, guys. You got to pick a side. Either you are with God or either you are with your flesh. But you cannot be in spirit and be in flesh at the same time. And I have learned during this process that a lot of people, they don't know how to operate in spirit. They feed their flesh so much so during the day that it overpowers any good that could ever be produced from their spirit. And I was one of those people. My spirit was in the right place. My heart was in the right place. My reasoning for doing things, because we could find 100 rationalizations that we make sense for us, but it doesn't make sense to Christ. And like any other father, I was scolded. I was sat down and I was scolded for every wrongful action. You know, I got into it with someone that I thought I was close with, and they brought a third party into the midst of it. And instantly, I felt some type of way because all the time that we had invested, I didn't mean enough to you for you to address me one on one. And then you tried everything in your power to clean it up. This person tried to clean it up. And I'm sitting here looking at the both of you because you both are knee deep in the middle of this drama and nothing is getting resolved. So in that moment, it made me self-reflect to realize, Tina, you just as knee deep because you entertained it. And a lot of times we pick up stuff that don't belong to us. I didn't have to entertain it. I didn't have to pick up the phone. I didn't have to respond. I didn't have to give it any of my energy. And the minute that I gave it my energy, I became just as guilty as everybody that was involved. So I had to sit and take ownership of the part that I played in that. This situation that I have been in these last few weeks has led to a lot of financial hardship for me. Guys, I am so used to being the giver and not the taker. For me to have to humble myself in its rawest form to ask people, hey, I'm hungry, can you feed me today? Or, hey, I don't know how I'm gonna survive to the next day. Mentally, I'm just on edge. You know, we hear mental health and we take it so lightly, or we'll shoot a person a text message, or we'll just respond to a post. But how many of us actually take the time to pick up the phone and pray for that person or pray with that person? See, because I'm at a stage in my life where you can't tell me that you love me. Don't tell me that you're praying for me. Pick up the phone and pray with me. And if I'm not worth 5 minutes of your time, I understand people run businesses, people have things to do. But if I'm not worth 2 to 5 minutes of your time for you to just hear my voice and audibly know that I'm okay, I don't want to be bothered. And I know that sounds a little cruel, but right now, my spirit is under serious subjection that I need real love, real support, and real connections. I don't want Facebook love. I don't want social media love. If you can't pick up the phone to hear my voice to say, hey sis, how are you today? Are you okay? I don't want you to inbox me. I don't want, you see, because this is the funny part to this story. I got a number of calls in my absence, a number of text messages. And the minute that the people got the information that they were in search of, because that's how I feel, and I'm just keeping it real, the minute they got the information that they were in search of, the care calls stopped, the care texts stopped. But you were just overly concerned. Oh my gosh, we were so concerned and we're so worried about you. But not one person picked up the phone to call to hear my voice. Not one person has followed up. Oh, I'm lying. Shout out to, I don't even want to say the name because it's gonna rub people the wrong way. But she know who she is. And it meant the world to me because wow, I pray with a lot of people. I'm connected to a lot of people. And to know that out of that handful of people, I only got one call. Yeah, I'm a bit hurt behind it. But I am guilty because a phone works both ways. So I can also pick up the phone and call and reach out. I just mentally and emotionally was not connected with myself. Me bringing new life into this world has led me to a lot of grief surrounding that new life. Because the enemy knows your weaknesses and he tried to set in to tell me, oh, Tina, it's been 20 years and you're not fit to be a new mom and you're not fit to do this and you're not fit to do that. But what does it look like? I'm here today to share with you guys. Guess what? I don't have every account I have is overdrawn. I don't have a car. I don't have a house. I don't have a job. I don't have a mansion sitting on a hill. My book is not selling 100 copies a day. My show is not getting 1 million views and likes every day. But guess what? God reminds me every single day that I am his child and I am loved. And I don't do this for the views. I don't do this for the likes. I don't do this so that I am popular and I am making a fortune or for sharing my testimony. My testimony is my testimony. And if it don't make me $1, but it could save one soul, that's enough for me. Some people, and it doesn't even fully matter to me because I'm not here to view and look at the lives of others. But we have a lot of people today that push God and sell God and use it as their forefront to get likes, to get views. In the midst of me falling out with several people during this, someone said to me, "Oh, God orders my steps and God orders everything it is that I say and do. So God told you to call me and try to ambush me with someone else in the background." And there's no way that God told you that. And guess what? Your relationship with God is your relationship with God. But I know that God doesn't tell me to ambush people. He tells me to pray for people. God doesn't tell me to get even with people. God doesn't tell me to seek revenge. God tells me, you know what, Tina? You didn't even have to respond to that situation. That's what he told me. But I'm not going to go into a situation saying that God led me to that. No, God didn't lead me to do what I did years ago for it to catch up to me today. I was completely mind blown. Did I know that I was going to be apprehended? Absolutely not. I was headed home from work celebrating, get pulled over, and bam, my whole life came to a standstill in a blink of an eye. I found out that I was with child during that stay. So I had to sit in a cell and let that penetrate in my mind. And like I said, as I sat in that cell, I realized I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Physically, I could do all the time in the world. Mentally and emotionally, it tore me to pieces. But I am so grateful and I am at such peace within because it made me love me more. It made me love God more because it drew me closer to him. And I have said it in my earlier shows, when God wants your attention, ooh, he's not going to ask for it. And sometimes he's not going to come after it in a pretty way. He wanted my attention. There was something that I was not doing, and I know what that something is. I was not fully committed to giving him me. I still wanted to do things Tina way. I still wanted to live my life the way I wanted to live my life. And I thought just because I was reading my Bible every day and just because I was sending praises up to God every day, all day, that, oh, okay, he'll overlook the things that I'm choosing to do versus the things he's ordering me to do. And he said, absolutely not. You are going to do this my way. You are not going to play with me, or you're not going to do it no way. And today, I choose to do things God's way. And with that being said, guys, this will be the conclusion of the You See Me podcast. My life is headed in a whole different direction. God is calling me in another way, and I have to be obedient to what God is telling me to do and not what's popular to do. Initially when I started this podcast, and I grieve over that too. Gail Flowers, for those of you who know, she saw the vision. She saw where I was headed and I ran with it. And in some of me and her conversation, she always knew that being in front of a screen on social, it wasn't where God wanted to position me. It wasn't my purpose. And in this journey that I'm on, in this growth journey, because I grew through the pain, guys. Every time I started to cry it only made me spiritually stronger, because I could have sat and dwelled in it. I could have sat and let myself get lost in all the things that I lost. But of all the things that I lost in these last 60 days, guess what, guys? God restored my mind and He restored my heart. And I can still sit before you guys with not a dime to my name, with not a job, a car, none of it. But guess what? I am totally at peace in my spirit, because I don't need material things to define who I am. I don't need likes and views to define who Tina is. I know who I am, and I know my journey, and I know my purpose. So, as I stated, this will be the last You See Me podcast. I hope that you guys all continue to join and support me on all my up and coming endeavors in the near future. Um, I don't like to speak about things before they come about, so we're gonna leave that there. But I need you guys to pray with me and for me, for the new life that is in my belly at the moment. God has blessed me after 20 years with a son. I will be giving birth to baby boy Bridges come November. And I even grieve that, guys, because happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. For those that don't know, my mother is not with me. I lost her 20 plus years ago. And I'll never get over it, but I don't sit and allow myself to soak in it anymore. And like I said, I lost a lot, but I gained a lot in these last 60 days. My health is not in tip top shape, of course. I'm a 40-year-old mom, and it is taking a toll on me. So I am going to take some time to take care of me, to nourish my son, nourish my mind and soul, so that I am 100% whole when I return. And I will be returning soon, just in a different light. So I just wanted to come and share those things with you guys. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I just needed to get some of those things off my chest, because there's been, a lot of whispers surrounding my absence, and I wanted my audience and my viewers to hear out of the cat's mouth why I have been absent and what's been going on with me. You know, because we sit and we listen to he say, she said, and we don't realize, we get mad at some of the messages that's brought back to us. We get mad at the people that's bringing it back to us, when in fact we need to be mad at ourselves for even listening to it, entertaining it, absorbing it, and letting it in our spirit. Because what's for us is for us. And anybody that's bringing and carrying negativity to you, and you're allowing yourself to entertain it and absorb it into your spirit, you're just as guilty. You can't be mad at the messages or the messenger. You have to look at you. I always tell you guys and encourage you guys to reflect and not to deflect. So that is my message for you guys today, is if you are battling with yourself and you are battling with certain things, bring it to God. Don't bring it to a sister. Don't bring it to a brother. Don't bring it to nobody in the flesh. Tap into your spirit and bring it to your spirit. So all those who have picked up the phone and reached out and genuinely showed care and concern, thank you. My heart is with you. And for those that didn't, I still continue to pray for you. I wish you well on your journeys and on your endeavors. But this is a season of Tina. I need people who are 100% Team Tina players. I don't want nobody sitting the bench. I don't need no mascots. I don't need no hype me up queens. I don't need none of the above. I need team players that are Team Tina, that are going to sit and delegate this thing with me, that are going to sit and play the field with me. And if you are not willing to do that, then God bless you. I wish you a farewell, but you not for me. I have to put me first. I pour into so many people, and that was God's number one thing, was this is a season of pouring into Tina. Give Tina some of what I have been giving the world for so many years. And give baby Bridges, my son, the son that I have been begging and pleading and asking for so many years, I am finally getting. So it is a boy, guys. Y'all will be seeing my son soon. Y'all will be seeing me soon. I wish you guys all a farewell. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys soon.